Hi, welcome to BUS441 Business Strategy for the Winter 2021. The purpose of this video is to help you get started with the course and understand how the course is going to work and what your responsibilities are. So it's important that you listen to this video to the very end. Now, a couple things I just want to mention right away while I have your full attention is when you sign up for the homework manager, make sure you use your real name, no nicknames, because I have a lot of students with the same last names, and then they'll make a nickname for their first name that is almost nothing to do with their real first name, and I can't later transpose the grades from the homework manager onto the Stony Brook grade site. So please remember that. Also, when you sign up for the homework manager, don't try the trial account. Make sure you get the full account, because if you activate the trial account, oftentimes the work is lost when you convert that to a full account later on. And also, I can't see you or anything you've done in the trial account until it's converted to a full account. And there's been more than one occasion where students have signed up for the trial account, completed all the work, and then thought they were good for the class, only to realize later that I wasn't able to see anything that they'd done and they failed the class. So make sure you don't make that mistake. Okay, so let's go over the first announcement. This is the announcement I sent out with the Getting Started video. So the things that you need to do in week one is, of course, review the Blackboard and read over all the announcements, which I'll go over here really quickly. Register for the homework manager, which also includes the e-textbook. So you get both of them together. Really, the homework manager is free with the e-textbook. Read the syllabus, subscribe to the YouTube playlist, and I'll show you how to do that in a few minutes, and read chapter 1 in the textbook. Okay, so let's continue with the announcements. The first announcement is going to be how to buy the textbook and homework manager. So this will give you a step-by-step instructions on how to do that. I'm going to go through it anyway, but the most important thing is that you have this ID. This is the course ID here that you're going to need when you sign up for the homework manager. Okay, next up is very important. I don't accept any late assignments. So be very diligent in your schedule and keeping track of your assignments and when they're due. Because of the frequency of assignments in this class, I am not going to accept any late assignments. So just be aware of that. Now, the due dates for the class, here are the due dates I've listed from beginning to end for the homework manager. So you'll see that the due dates are in 3 areas: Friday the 8th, Friday the 15th, and Friday the 22nd. So I broke up the due dates into at the end of each of the 3 weeks for the courses. And a lot of these assignments are very quick and not that long to accomplish at all. So don't be worried about that. The class schedule, in week 1, we're going to cover chapters 1, 2, and 3. So for each week, you should read the chapter and watch the chapter's lectures, participate in the case discussion boards, and complete the homeworks and quizzes in the homework manager. Week 2, we'll be going over chapters 4, 5, and 6. And finally, in week 3, we'll be doing chapters 7, 8, and 9, and 10. Okay, so that's how the class will break out. Okay, so those are the announcements posted so far. Now, let's go right to number 2, register for the homework manager. So I've made it easy. I put a link here, right here. It says homework manager. You click on that, and you click on register as a student. Okay to register. You put in the course ID, and then hit continue. And then they'll ask you for your email address, and then you can pay. If you don't, then you'll have to pay with a credit card or PayPal. But when you do register, make sure that you use, again, your real first name and last name as it appears in Blackboard, so I don't get confused later. Okay, and let me show you, once you register for the homework manager, I'll show you what that looks like. This is what it's going to look like. You'll see the BUS441 Strategic Management 2021, your name, and what you want to focus on. Here's the e-textbook. So if you click here, you'll get access to the e-textbook. This is your assignments, and this is your results, or otherwise known as the grade book. We are not using the study plan, so you'll see there's nothing in the study plan. Now, the results, all the assignment results will be listed here, including the Blackboard discussion questions I'll put up here as well. So all your full grade book will be here in My Finance Lab. So if you click on assignments, you'll see it's you'll see the blue dot will be just a regular homework assignment, and the orange square is a quiz. So here are the assignments for Chapter 1. So you have some assignments like a video assignment. So if you click on that, click on the video assignment, it's going to open up to a short video you can watch by playing this, and then it's going to walk you through a number of questions. Let me just resize this. So as you pick each question and you move to the next one, and this is related to the video, but also more importantly to what's written in the textbook. So if you don't read Chapter 1 before you do these video assignments, it may be difficult to complete them. Here's another, sometimes there's a simulation assignment. And again, all these assignments are sort of fun, quick. They're not really all that tedious. And this would go through a short simulation that you read through. And you select different options as you go through. And again, the simulation is tied to what you learn in the chapter. So if you start the homework without reading the chapter, it'll be much more difficult. Now, the warm-up is sort of similar to the quiz. So when you do a warm-up, you're going to get questions that similar questions, or if maybe the same questions, may appear on the quiz. So when you click on it, you get a check, and you can see right away if you got that right or wrong, and you move to the next question. So it's a pretty easy format. Now on the quiz, which is a lot more points than the warm-up, it's going to be treated as a test. So when you click on Start the Exam, you're going to have 25 questions, and you're not going to know whether or not you got the answers right as you move through. And there's also question help that you could use that will bring you to the e-text pages that are related to the question if you wanted to brush up on the actual part of the textbook that the question is coming from. Okay, so that's pretty simple how the Homework Manager works. And then once you completed an assignment, you can go into results, and your completed assignments will be listed here, and you can review them to see what you got right and you got wrong. And then your final total grade will be a percentage here, percentile weight here. Okay, let's go back to Blackboard. So pretty simple how the Homework Manager works. Number 3, read the syllabus. So if you click here, you'll find a full syllabus for the class. And now remember, this class is 100% asynchronous, which means I'm going to provide the videos, documents, lectures, assignments, everything is going to be accessible day or night. You just have to make sure that for the assignments, you get them done before the due date. But the videos, lectures for the course, you can watch at any time that you're ready. Okay, so the syllabus starts off with a course description, followed by information about the e-textbook, information about the Homework Manager, and you'll find that many of the elements of the syllabus are also in the announcements. So when I look for the course ID, you'll say see announcements is where the course ID is. The discussion board questions, which I'm going to go over in a few minutes, there's 6 discussion board questions, 2 each week. Your overall grading percentages, so the homework will be 30% of your grade, or 300 points. Chapter quizzes will be 45%, or 500 points. And the case discussions will be 200 points, or 25% of your grade, for a total of 100%. And if you divide, it's 1,000 points, so you're going to get the percentile on the Homework Manager. But if you take your total points, you divide by 10, you can convert to a letter grade. Okay. So there'll be 10 quizzes. There is no midterm or final. So 10 short quizzes, 1 for each chapter. So the discussion questions are the participation for the class. So expect, each student to prepare and respond to their discussion questions, and then reply to other students' responses. And I think I require 2 replies for each discussion question. Okay, and then the basic schedule for the class, which is also on announcements, and some school policies at the bottom. Okay, so that's the syllabus. Read that over in its entirety when you're able to. Okay, so let's go to 4, subscribe to my YouTube playlist for the class. So if you click here, this is the class lecture videos. Click here, and then the lecture videos will pop up here, starting with the Getting Started video, and then all the chapters for the textbook will be laid out from chapters 1 through 10. I have a bonus chapter 11, but we're not covering it for that course. But if you have the time, you can watch that. And it's pretty simple to use YouTube anytime you want to. So you can just kind of click on the chapter video. Now, when you have the chapter video, I would suggest that you subscribe to the channel, or at least subscribe to the playlist. So that way, if I put new videos up or any announcements to the class in a video form, you'll get a notice of that pretty quickly. Okay, so that's how you can see the videos for the course. And I made it very easy, you see, by including these buttons to get to the homework manager or the videos. So lastly, read chapter 1 in the textbook. Okay, so the only thing we haven't discussed, there's a couple of things we haven't discussed here. One, there is a link here to get the PowerPoint slides for the chapters that we're covering. There's, that's the homework manager. There's, the discussion questions are going to be first graded. So you'll see them on the grade book. I'm going to put a grade for each week's discussion board questions on Blackboard. But also by the end of the class, I'm going to transfer these grades to the homework manager. So you have all your grades in the homework manager. I'm not going to transfer the homework manager grades to Blackboard. But because right now we're going to be doing the discussion questions and grading on Blackboard, and I'll transfer them later. So I also give you this link to library resources. So this is where you can get some information, some additional information when you're answering the discussion questions in case there's some additional research you want to do, which I highly recommend. Okay, so the first discussion board forum is class questions. So if you had a question here such as, how are the cases graded? You could post a question about anything in class, and then I could reply to that. If it's a more individual or personal question, email me directly. Okay. So, and when you have something like this, you can click on subscribe. So that way you'll get any notification anytime someone posts in there. Okay. Now, for week 1, we have 2 discussion board questions. We have week 1, Disney versus Netflix, and then week 2, which is part 2 of streaming. So week 1, case part 2. So this is the second part. And you'll see that you'll have these documents here. So here we have 2 documents. We have Disney versus Netflix, and we have Quibi, Hollywood's Biggest Failure. So you want to read over those PDFs, and then I have a list of questions here that you're going to answer. So probably the easiest thing to do is just highlight these questions when you're ready, and then you'll be able to see I wrote this, click here. You click here on this. Initially, you're going to see there's no posts because I'm hiding the other students' posts until you post yours. So you're going to click on Create Thread, and then you'll see the questions will be here again. And you'll have also the PDF should be listed here, and then you can go in, and your subject should be your name. And then a brief description of what you're answering. So it could be your name and then Disney versus Netflix. Then it might be easier if you just cut and paste the questions in here and then start answering them, the answer directly below the questions. That's why students and also me will know exactly what you're answering. And then once you've answered all the questions completely, you want to click on Submit. So click on Submit. And then you'll see that your thread is here, and then the other students' threads will appear once you post yours. And you can read those over, and I'm expecting that you read it, at least 2 other students' threads, and then post a reply to that student about asking them a question or a comment on some element of their original post. And then when you go into a post, you'll be able to rate the post from 0 to 5 stars. So you read other students' posts. Please rate those posts. And this gives good instant feedback, peer feedback on your posts, your submissions, and it's a good way for students to get instant feedback from each other. So I recommend that be done. Okay, I'm going to delete this post here. Okay. So that's how you do the discussion board. Pretty simple. And you probably have done this for other courses. This should be nothing new to you. So we have week 1, we have 2 of all about streaming services. And then so that's week 1. And then week 2, we have about computer chips. So we have part 1 and part 2 of computer chips in various aspects. And then week 3, we're going to be talking about meat substitutes, plant-based food substitutes, and fast food breakfasts. So, and some of these different discussion boards may have 2 or 3 cases to read to help formulate your responses. So how you get graded on these discussion boards is I read over your post and I grade you on the completion of your questions. Did you answer the question as completely as you could have? Did you include most of the relevant information in the casework? And then an excellent post may actually include some information from outside the provided case studies. So using the library resources, maybe doing an article lookup and finding some additional information and citing it in your paper would be a good way of ensuring full credit for each of these discussion boards. Okay, so that is the course in its entirety. So I hope this video will help you to be very successful in the course, and I look forward to working with you over this semester, and good luck. I'll be talking to you soon.